When Allah intends to bring the right person into your life, He begins by preparing your heart long before the meeting ever takes place. You may notice that your thoughts become more disciplined, your expectations become more realistic, and your understanding of love becomes more mature. This is not a coincidence. Allah shapes you so that you are ready for what He has written. And as that destined individual draws nearer, your heart becomes more focused, not on the person, but on the values that truly matter. You find yourself seeking purity, sincerity, honesty, and faithfulness, qualities that reflect a bond built for His sake. You may also realize that certain situations that once confused you start to make sense. Paths that once felt heavy begin to clear. Doors you tried to force open suddenly feel unimportant, and new opportunities appear with a sense of ease that cannot be manufactured. Allah creates clarity where there used to be doubt, and He draws your attention to signs that gently guide you toward what is right. When the right person is near, the heart recognizes the shift, not through excitement alone, but through a peaceful awareness that feels divinely placed, a reminder that what Allah decrees arrives at the perfect moment, carrying the goodness you once prayed for. When Allah wants your heart to open to something written for you, He begins by easing the weight you once carried so tightly. You may not realize it at first, but a gentle shift unfolds within you, allowing you to let go of what once held you back. Your thoughts become clearer, your emotions become calmer, and your expectations begin to align with sincerity rather than desperation. It is Allah preparing you, reshaping the inner space that will one day welcome what He has decreed. And as this transformation takes place, you begin to sense that your journey is being guided by something far greater than personal longing. You might witness moments where you naturally detach from relationships or desires that were never meant to stay. This detachment is not a loss, rather, it is a divine favor that clears your path from distractions that once clouded your vision. Allah allows your heart to feel a level of peace that gently nudges you toward acceptance of His timing. Through this process, you begin to recognize that true comfort lies not in what you chase, but in what He brings forth for you. Your heart slowly learns to trust without demanding answers. As your heart softens, qualities such as patience and gratitude begin to take root more deeply than before. You no longer rush to seek validation from people, because your heart is learning that value comes from Allah alone. The transformation becomes evident in the way you handle trials, disappointment, and uncertainty. Instead of reacting with frustration, you start responding with dignity and wisdom. This growth is not accidental. It is Allah preparing you for a responsibility wrapped in goodness. A heart that softens is a heart being readied for a blessing. A softened heart also becomes more aware of its surroundings in a spiritual sense. The reminders you used to overlook now carry significance. A verse you once read casually now touches you profoundly. A dua you repeated regularly now feels meaningful in a new way. Allah adjusts your inner world so that you can perceive His guidance with sharper clarity. This awareness is part of the preparation, allowing you to recognize what aligns with your values and what aligns with your future. Through this journey, you may notice your priorities shifting in ways that align with a purposeful future. Rather than focusing on superficial qualities, you begin seeking depth, character, and faith. You search for what brings tranquility to the heart instead of temporary excitement. This shift is a powerful sign that Allah is softening your heart to appreciate the kind of connection that serves your soul, not just your emotions. It shows that your heart is being prepared to honor the blessing when it arrives. There are changes in your resilience as well. Situations that once broke you now teach you. Tests that once discouraged you now strengthen you. Allah removes the fragility from your heart and replaces it with a firmness that can handle responsibility, commitment, and growth. Through this strength, your heart becomes capable of nurturing a bond built upon sincerity and faith rather than fear or insecurity. This strengthening is another layer of preparation for what is destined. You may also notice that Allah grants you clarity regarding what no longer benefits you. People who drained your energy begin to fade from your life. Attachments that brought confusion lose their attraction. Allah does not allow a softened heart to remain in spaces that damage its purity. He removes what could hinder the blessing He intends to send. What feels like separation is actually protection. And what feels like emptiness is space being made for what is real. As your heart continues to soften, trust in Allah's promises grows naturally within you. You begin to recognize that every delay has purpose, every disappointment has wisdom, and every unanswered request is shaping something greater. Trust becomes an anchor, allowing you to walk forward with confidence even without knowing what lies ahead. A heart that trusts Allah is a heart ready to receive His gifts without resistance or doubt. You may find yourself drawn to dua in a deeper way, not out of desperation but out of gratitude. You ask Allah to guide you, to protect you, and to grant you what is best, not merely what you desire. This maturity in your dua reflects a softened heart that has surrendered its plans to the One who knows all. This surrender becomes a key that unlocks blessings you once thought were far from reach. When a heart speaks sincerely, Allah listens generously. You realize that the softening of your heart was never just about preparing for a person. It was about preparing for growth, faith, and a stronger connection with Allah Himself. When He brings the right person into your life, your heart will recognize the blessing without hesitation because it has been shaped, refined and purified to receive what is truly meant for you. The gift arrives at the exact moment your heart is ready, never before, never after. When Allah intends to guide your heart toward the person written for your future, He increases your awareness in a way that feels almost effortless. You begin to sense a clarity that you did not experience before, a clarity that helps you identify what nurtures your soul and what weakens it. This inner clarity is not loud or dramatic, it is gentle yet unmistakable. You feel more certain of what aligns with your purpose, and this certainty begins shaping your decisions with wisdom. It is Allah whispering direction into a heart that is finally ready to listen. As the presence of the right person draws nearer, your connection with your Creator deepens. You experience a stronger motivation to improve your character, refine your manners, and strengthen your worship. You find yourself becoming more conscious of the choices you make because you understand that a meaningful relationship begins with sincerity toward Allah. This growth is a sign that divine guidance is working within you, preparing you for a bond that reflects goodness and integrity. Such elevation in your spiritual state rarely happens without purpose. You may also notice that certain doubts that once troubled you begin to fade. Allah helps you distinguish between fear created by past experiences and guidance meant to lead you forward. What once confused you becomes clearer, and what once frightened you becomes manageable. This shift is not accidental. It is Allah granting insight so that you do not misinterpret His blessings as burdens. The more the right person approaches, the more your heart becomes capable of recognizing truth from illusion. Guidance also appears in the people around you. Allah may place individuals in your life who encourage you toward righteousness, who remind you of your worth, and who help you see the qualities that truly matter. Their words and actions become signs that reflect the direction your life is taking. Even small conversations may carry wisdom you did not expect. Allah uses these interactions to steer you away from distractions and toward a path built on sincerity, faith, and purpose. As guidance strengthens, you may find that certain things lose their appeal. Temporary attractions no longer hold the same weight, and superficial qualities no longer influence your decisions. Your heart begins to prioritize loyalty, understanding, patience, and faith. This is a sign that Allah is refining your perception so that you recognize a person's true essence. He protects you from choosing based on fleeting emotions and shapes your heart to recognize long-lasting goodness. Your intuition becomes sharper as well. You start sensing when something is not right, even if it appears attractive on the surface. Allah protects the heart by planting subtle warnings, preventing you from stepping into situations that could harm you. On the other hand, when something is right, He grants you tranquility that cannot be explained but can certainly be felt. This balance of protection and assurance is a sign that His guidance is active and precise. You may notice how your du'as become more focused. Instead of asking for specific people or outcomes, you begin asking for what brings you closer to peace, faith, and long-term happiness. You ask Allah to guide your steps, protect your future, and align your heart with what He knows is best. This shift in prayer reflects a heart that trusts divine wisdom more than personal desire. Such trust is a sign of guidance that grows stronger as destiny approaches. Divine guidance also appears through unexpected events. Something may not work out, only for you to realize later that it saved you from harm. A path may open, showing you that ease is often a sign of divine support. These experiences reinforce your trust in Allah's plan, reminding you that what is meant for you will never require forcing or compromising your principles. Allah's guidance becomes clearer through these subtle lessons that shape your faith and deepen your understanding. You may feel an increased desire to seek knowledge about marriage, character building, and emotional maturity. This desire does not arise without purpose. It is a sign that Allah is nurturing your readiness for what He has written. You begin shaping yourself into someone capable of contributing to a healthy, meaningful, spiritually aligned relationship. Guidance becomes a tool of preparation, equipping you with wisdom that strengthens both your heart and your intentions. And as the right person draws near, everything within you begins to align with the path Allah has prepared. Your thoughts become clearer, your heart becomes calmer, and your steps become more intentional. You realize that divine guidance is not simply about finding someone, it is about becoming someone worthy of the blessing that Allah is sending. When the person written for you approaches, the guidance within your heart intensifies, ensuring that you recognize the gift when it arrives and honor it with gratitude and faith. When Allah has written someone for your life, He begins by purifying your heart in ways you may not immediately understand. You notice a shift in what you desire, not just in a relationship but within yourself. Your heart grows weary of distractions that lack sincerity, and you feel drawn toward what strengthens you rather than what entertains you. This internal purification is a mercy, for it prepares you to value qualities that last beyond emotion. Allah refines your heart so it becomes capable of recognizing a bond rooted in goodness and truth. As this purification unfolds, your intentions deepen. You begin seeking a relationship built upon faith, mutual respect, and kindness rather than worldly appearances or fleeting excitement. The idea of purity becomes more than a concept, it becomes a guiding standard. You want a connection that brings you closer to Allah, one that nurtures stability, purpose, and emotional security. These desires are signs that your soul is being aligned with what Allah has decreed for you, shaping you into someone who honors the blessing before receiving it. You may find that your patience grows stronger. Instead of rushing toward companionship, you begin valuing the process of becoming whole within yourself. You realize that purity is not just about protecting your actions, but about protecting your peace, your dignity, and your emotional well-being. A pure heart recognizes that rushing towards something unprepared can harm what Allah intends to flourish. This maturity is placed within you so that when your written match appears, your readiness becomes evident through your calmness. Purity also changes the way you communicate. Your words become more thoughtful, your tone becomes more respectful, and your conversations hold meaning instead of superficiality. You no longer entertain discussions that lead your heart away from Allah or compromise your self-respect. Instead, you seek sincerity in every interaction. This shift reflects the transformation happening within, as Allah guides you toward a level of purity that attracts a partner who shares the same values. You begin evaluating your surroundings more carefully as well. Environments that once felt normal may suddenly feel misaligned with your growth. You prefer spaces that bring clarity rather than confusion, and you choose company that encourages virtue over indulgence. These choices are manifestations of a heart searching for purity. Allah protects you from influences that could corrupt your sincerity and directs you toward people and experiences that nurture your spiritual development. In this journey, you may notice an increase in humility. You no longer see purity as perfection, but as a commitment to striving. You understand that mistakes do not disqualify you from good things. Instead, they can lead you toward a deeper, more honest version of yourself. Allah teaches you to be gentle with your past and hopeful for your future. A humble heart becomes a fertile ground for a relationship that is built upon compassion rather than unrealistic expectations. Your du'as become more honest as well. You begin asking not just for the right person, but for the ability to be the right person. You ask Allah to cleanse your heart from anything that could damage the blessing He sends. This sincerity in prayer reflects a heart that understands the value of purity. When you speak to Allah with such openness, He responds by shaping your path in ways that protect you from harm and guide you toward goodness. As your heart seeks purity, you grow more mindful of your emotional boundaries. You recognize the importance of preserving your energy and protecting your heart from attachments that do not lead to stability. You understand that purity is also about honoring your emotional capacity and not giving it away carelessly. This self-respect becomes a shield that keeps you aligned with Allah's plan, preventing you from investing in connections that are not meant for you. The purification process also deepens your understanding of love. You begin to see love as an act of worship rather than mere affection. You realize that love guided by Allah carries a sense of dignity, responsibility, and spiritual fulfillment. This understanding prepares you to nurture a relationship that reflects trust, patience, and mercy. Such love cannot be built on impulsive choices. It requires a heart refined by purity and guided by faith. You realize that the purity you seek is not accidental. It is a sign that Allah is bringing your written match closer. He purifies you so that your heart is capable of valuing the person He has chosen for you. Through this purification, you gain the wisdom to recognize a bond that is blessed and the strength to honor it sincerely. When your heart reaches this state, you are not just waiting for your match, you are becoming ready for what Allah has destined with a heart that reflects the beauty of purity. When Allah has written someone as part of your future, He begins shaping your path in ways that sharpen your sense of purpose. You start seeing life differently, recognizing that every decision carries weight and meaning. Your heart becomes more aware of the responsibilities that come with love built on faith. This awareness guides you to grow, to mature, and to align your daily habits with a clearer vision. Allah places direction within you so that you walk toward your destiny with confidence rather than confusion. As this destined individual draws closer, your priorities begin to shift. You feel a natural pull towards stability, sincerity, and long-term growth. You no longer pursue things that drain your spirit or distract your mind. Instead, you feel yourself drawn to goals that build your future rather than merely fill your time. This shift is a sign that your heart is adjusting to the person Allah has chosen for you. Inspiration begins to surround you in subtle ways, and your mind awakens to possibilities you once overlooked. Your faith becomes more active during this transformation. You find yourself relying on Allah with a deeper level of trust, seeking guidance at every turn. Your du'as become meaningful, not just requests, but conversations of hope and gratitude. You ask for clarity, for patience, for emotional strength. These prayers mold your journey, giving your steps direction. Through this process, your heart becomes steadier and you begin recognizing your destiny by the peace that settles within you. Direction also comes through the lessons Allah places in your path. Situations that once felt confusing begin showing their wisdom. People who were not meant for your heart drift away, leaving room for clarity. This sense of cleansing is not loss. It is Allah removing what could hinder the blessing He intends to bring. With each release, you gain a deeper understanding of what truly matters. You start valuing the qualities that build a meaningful future rather than chasing temporary satisfaction. You may notice your self-discipline growing. You make better choices, not because someone forces you, but because Allah instills a desire for improvement. Your behavior reflects maturity, and your thoughts reflect gratitude. You begin aligning your daily life with values that nurture a healthy, stable relationship. Allah does not allow His blessings to be built on unprepared hearts. so He strengthens your character until you are ready to welcome someone with dignity and sincerity. Your emotional world becomes more balanced as well. The fears that once held you back loosen their grip, replaced by a calm assurance planted by Allah Himself. You stop overthinking every step and begin trusting the direction you are being guided toward. This emotional clarity brings harmony into your decisions. You realize that Allah is guiding your heart towards someone who will complement your growth, not complicate it. Connections that once felt appealing may start losing their attraction. Allah protects your heart by redirecting your attention away from what would delay your growth. You feel a quiet understanding that not every connection deserves your energy. This awareness brings focus into your life, helping you recognize the difference between what is temporary and what holds lasting value. It is part of the preparation for a relationship written with wisdom. You might sense an increase in purpose as you move closer to your destined relationship. You wake up with a stronger intention to grow, to become better, and to build a life rooted in faith. This purpose is not random. It is Allah preparing you for companionship that will require compassion, patience, and strength. With clarity in your heart, your decisions begin to reflect the direction He has chosen for you. Direction also appears through the opportunities Allah places before you. You may find yourself encountering people, work, or environments that elevate your character. These doors open with ease, guiding you toward a life that supports emotional and spiritual development. Allah aligns your surroundings with your destiny, ensuring that every step brings you closer to the person He has written for you. This alignment reveals just how precise divine planning is. A renewed sense of responsibility may enter your heart. You start thinking beyond yourself, considering the future of a family, a home, and a life built with purpose. Your mind shifts from short-term desires toward long-term stability. This awareness shows that Allah is shaping you into someone capable of nurturing a meaningful relationship. When the right person is part of your destiny, responsibility becomes a natural part of your growth. Your patience evolves into something deeper than waiting. It becomes a form of trust, a form of worship, a form of strength. You realize that rushing into the wrong relationship can cost years of healing, but waiting for the one written by Allah builds years of peace. This understanding gives you direction, helping you move calmly through uncertainty. A patient heart recognizes that Allah's timing is never delayed. As your heart grows, you start appreciating the importance of emotional maturity. You understand that meaningful love requires calm communication, forgiveness, and empathy. This recognition guides your behavior and shapes your interactions. You no longer respond impulsively or hold on to grudges. Allah teaches you how to protect love even before you receive it. Such maturity ensures your destiny arrives into hands capable of holding it gently. Your inner world becomes more organized. You start understanding your values, your expectations, and your goals with more clarity. You no longer feel lost in your desires or overwhelmed by confusion. This inner organization is a sign that your path is being aligned with someone who complements your nature. The more clarity you gain, the more capable you become of recognizing a relationship built on truth. Your heart becomes more compassionate, not only toward others but toward yourself. You overcome the burdens of your past and free yourself from guilt that once clouded your judgment. Allah softens your heart to give you space to heal and to grow. Through this softness, you gain direction, because a healed heart can recognize a healthy connection when it appears. Compassion becomes a guiding light toward the relationship meant for you. You develop a deeper respect for commitment. You understand that real love is nurtured through consistency rather than intensity. This understanding prepares you to honor a lifelong bond. Allah instills an appreciation for stability, teaching you that love rooted in faith brings resilience during hardship. This level of respect guides your steps towards someone who values the same principles. Direction also appears in your standards. You begin to differentiate between what looks good and what is genuinely good. Your standards rise because your understanding rises. Your heart becomes more selective, guided by qualities that reflect sincerity and righteousness. Allah protects your destiny by ensuring that you do not settle for anything that diminishes your value. You may notice that your gratitude increases. You start thanking Allah for guidance, for growth, and for the gift of clarity. This gratitude opens more paths for you, bringing light into your life. A grateful heart attracts goodness because it recognizes Allah's favor in every stage of the journey.